So I'm not going to take too much of your time today. I just want to give a first look for the O Pen Pro. This is a new flashlight pen combination, also with a laser. And I am hoping, with any luck, that it will have solved some major issues that I had with previous generations. So let's go ahead and get it right into it. All right, so this is the Blue O Pen 2. Pretty neat combination. They've done a couple cool things with this that are different from previous generations. For one thing, they've made it a little bit more sleek. It feels almost like it tapers towards the tip, and certainly from here on, it definitely does more than the original O Pen 2. The big difference you're going to see right here is with the fact that the LED is actually in the clip, which is really kind of insane that they're able to do it. And now that I see how thin the clip is, it's even more impressive. So there's some sort of electrical wiring that's really flat running underneath this clip. On top of that, they found a way to put a green laser in it. And it actually is pretty cool. My daughter and I were playing with this a little earlier, but it is surprisingly bright. So one thing I really wanted to know about this was whether I would have the same issues I did with the original O Pen 2. And that mostly had to do with the fact that the button that actuated the light was so easy to press, even with the lockout mode, that it wasn't good. And it unfortunately killed the device for me. It wasn't really practical. Now here, they've moved the button that actuates it down to the actual bolt itself. So if you press up one time, you get the light, hold it, and you get the various different modes. Now this is actually quite a bit brighter than you might expect coming from such a small LED. We also had kind of fun with that as well, just playing with it initially. One thing I will say about this, on the box and in all the documentation, it says that the temperature of this light is 3000 K. And there is absolutely no way that that is true. So this has got to be closer to what standard fare is for Olight, which is 6500. And so if you're looking for what is a nice warm tint, you're not getting that out of this light. So that is something to be aware of. Now, a couple things I should mention about this. First of all, one of the first things I did was see if I accidentally press it down and launch it back up, whether it will send it into an on mode, and I have not been able to do that, which is good. It's telling me there's something in there cushioning it, keeping it from, turning on, which I think is great. I'm glad they thought that through a little bit better. If I hold press, that's how I get the green light. But everything I disliked about the O Pen 2, for the most part, had to do with the fact that the button was easy to press. So I'm going to be trying this over the next couple of days, and hopefully it will not turn itself on accidentally when I sit down in a car or otherwise. If it does that, then it's already a massive improvement. Now, a couple other things that I noticed, which were a huge positive surprise, was how much better this writes compared to its predecessors. Now, I had major issues with the inserts, but this is Write in the Rain paper, which already doesn't work with a ton of different pens, but it just writes so well. In fact, this is one of the best writing pens I've tried in a while, and it definitely writes better even than my favorite pen, which is the Aviator B3. And so whatever they did to the insert, I think is a massive improvement. And of course, we can still do the usability that was part of the O Pen 2, but this time the actual pen has been elongated slightly. So it's a little bit easier to use, and you can still actuate the light separately, so you can hold that like that. Oops. Of course, now I'm trying to set it up so I do it. So you can get that standing. I just realized it's possible that the button makes this harder. It does work, but this particular surface is not very flat. So let's go ahead and do that. But the thing is you can have it sitting right where you're doing working, and you can go ahead and write. So that's cool. All right. So that's pretty much it. I don't want to get too much into this because I don't have usage over time, and I'd like to do that as well. If you don't hear back, it probably means that it wasn't going well. But I have high hopes that this will not end up turning itself on. And if it doesn't, that's all I needed to do for it to be worth the upgrades compared to the previous generation. The other thing we'll have to see is just how well this clip maintains itself. I think can see a couple situations where this clip gets broken off, but it is made of stainless steel, so potentially it'll be stronger than I expect. So that's it. That's the Open 2 Pro. And so far, looking great. They made some great improvements. They always seem to make nice improvements. And I'm looking forward to continuing to test it. So I'll let you guys know. This is the first look at the blue Open Pro.